Hello everybody, this is Goofy Gaming here, and today we will be talking about the problem with gadgets in Brawl Stars. First off, are gadgets bad? No, I don't think they're bad, but they are incredibly flawed in a lot of scenarios within Brawl Stars. Personally, I think gadgets are a great addition to Brawl Stars, and I love them and the idea behind them as well, but their execution in Brawl Stars was just terrible overall in my opinion. Now you might be asking, what's the terrible flaw? What's the terrible execution with these gadgets? And I have to say, the number one flaw with the gadgets is that they're just unbalanced. They aren't getting fixed either. They're just really unbalanced overall. Here's an example of their flaw. On the left we have Mortis, who is an assassin, who is fast in speed and his attack speed is fast. But he has a slow reload speed, so he has to be careful where he attacks to not get caught out in the open. Overall, I'd say he's a direct counter to throwers because most throwers have a lack of self-defense and mobility. So, boom, he's a counter to throwers. Now here's Tick, a thrower who's bad against assassins. He lacks speed and reload speed. He has great area denial, but he must be careful not to get caught out in the open or in the same range of an assassin, otherwise he's normally screwed. Who would win? In old Brawl Stars, Mortis would win, easily, 10 out of 10. But with the addition of gadgets, Tick would more often than not win this matchup. But how does Tick win if Mortis is a direct counter to him? As previously stated, Tick's gadget is what helps him win this matchup most of the time. But why? Well, here's the thing. Mortis needs to be close to deal damage. Tick's gadget inflicts knockback to enemies and gives Tick a shield, right? So, not only does Mortis get knocked back so he can't deal any damage, but even if he got close before the explosion went off, he couldn't deal enough damage because of the shield. It's just too tanky, and it's just a direct counter to Mortis. It feels unbalanced, and it's been like this ever since day one. Here's an example of Tick's gadget I got from the game. As you can see, boom, you activate it, and a second later it explodes. Watch. The little yellow orb that comes around him is the shield, and then boom, it explodes. So even if Mortis got to him before the explosion happens, he can't do anything to him because of that shield. And once that explosion happens, Mortis is left out in the open, completely countered. Here is more proof. This is Edgar, once again an assassin. Great at close range and great mobility, just like every other assassin. His low health and short range is his number one problem. Here's Piper the sniper. She's a sharpshooter and is an absolute beast at long range. Her poor mobility unless you have her super, which allows her to float away. By the way, we will talk about why her super is balanced, but her gadget is not. Who would win? Just like the Mortis and Tick fight, you would think the assassin who's good at close range would win against the sharpshooter or thrower who is bad at close range. But no. The gadget makes the fight completely unfair and denies the natural counters to these certain brawlers. Now, why does Piper win, and why isn't her super unbalanced? Piper's gadget, just like Tick's, inflicts knockback, and it also slows enemies within a short range, which completely counters the fact that she's supposed to be bad at close range, because if an enemy gets close, boom, she activates her gadget and they're just knockbacked, and there's nothing they can do about them but just get shot at continuously. Now, the reason her super isn't overpowered like her gadget is because she needs to hit her shots in order to charge her super, unlike her gadget, which is just a click and her gadget takes effect. You can also see when her super is charged, so you know if you can get close to her to take her out or not. But with her gadget, you can't see it at all. You don't know how many she has, you don't know if it's on a cooldown, and overall, you don't even know which one she has because she has two gadgets. So it could be the one that sucks, or it could be the one that completely counters you, but you would never know, causing it to be unbalanced in my opinion. Here's an example of this. As you can see, she goes up here, activates it, knocks the bot back, and slows it, causing them to miss one of their shots. And one last thing. Besides some gadgets just being completely unbalanced, like Tick and Piper's gadget, for example, like I showed previously, one example is how some gadgets are just supers from other brawlers, which is just unoriginal and unbalanced. Now here are some examples. There are more, but this is just the clearest examples, like Gray's gadget and Jean's super. When Gray activates his gadget, The next hit from his attack will pull enemies back. But here's Gene's super, which is basically the same thing, but he actually needs to charge this up continuously. So Gene launches a magical hand, right? And boom, it goes through stuff and pulls enemies back, just like Walking Cane. But Gene came out way before Gray, and yet for some reason they just decided to give Gene super as a Gray gadget. And over here we have Otis's super and Cordelius's gadget. Up here is Otis's super, which he flings the little sea star onto enemies, and the enemy hit will get prevented from attacking for a little short while, which is 3 seconds. And then over here is Cordelius's gadget called Poison Mushroom. Cordelius's next main attack shoots a poison mushroom that prevents an enemy from attacking for 1 second. Yes, I do understand that 1 second is less than 3, but it's just unoriginal, and it was completely overpowered when it first came out as well. Now, why is this a problem? Because in Brawl Stars, supers are a core feature. They've been in the game since launch, and they're unique to each brawler. But these gadgets just completely deny that, and they're just better supers because you don't need to charge them. You don't need to charge gadgets like you charge supers. They're ready all the time. It's just a painful thing to watch when you play a brawler and you have to charge their super, but then another brawler gets released and their gadget is just your super that could be activated instantly. Now, overall, in my opinion, gadgets were an amazing idea added to Brawl Stars. They are cool and a fun addition to the game that adds a bit more variety and spice to the game, but they're not properly balanced, and some are just unoriginal because they're just copies of other people's supers. Now, I think a solution to this would just be personally fixing some of the gadgets like Tick, like don't launch people back as much, just give them the explosion and shield, and I think that would be fine, because it completely counters the natural counter. It denies everything in the game, and I just wish it would be more balanced. Anyways, I just wanted to show off one more thing with the what's it called? Oh wait, my bad. It is not there anymore. Overall, I'm sorry about that last pause. That is my bad. I just want to say thank you for listening in. Any and all feedback will be great for future growth. So leave what you want to say in the comment section, and I will do my absolute very best to respond to your feedback and hopefully grow bigger in the future. Anyways, I just want to say thank you for listening in once again. Have a great day. Goofy Gaming out.